This morning, I alerted Workhorse when it was trading at $2.30 a share, and within an hour, it had gained over 40%. A momentum scanner like this is the most powerful tool a trader can possess. So in today's video, we are not only going to build the scanner itself step by step, but also the custom column that I use to sort my results so that the strongest stocks always appear at the top of the scan. So the main thesis of this scanner is that we want to return stocks that are up at least 20% on the day, and then we're going to build a custom column that shows us the stocks trading the nearest to their local highs. Pretty simple, right? But we have to do a little bit of admin work first just to make sure that we're only seeing stocks that we actually want to trade. So what I do, I'm going to come to this add filter here in the top right. I'm going to add a stock filter. I'm going to go with Mark, and I'm going to set my minimum mark. Mark just represents current price in ThinkorSwim. I'm going to set the minimum to $1. I don't want to trade penny stocks. I don't want to see penny stocks being returned in my scanner here. That is how we avoid that. Next, I want to only see stocks that have traded heavy volume. I also don't want to trade any light volume names. But to do that, we're going to go about it in a fancy kind of way so that it doesn't matter what time of day you run this scanner, you will still see high volume results. To do that, I'm going to go to this add condition group in the top right, and I'm going to add a condition group for any of the following. What this means is that as long as any filter in this group is true, the stock will be returned. So first off, let's add another stock filter, one of volume, and let's set the minimum volume 123 to 1 million shares. The issue with that is if you run the if you run the scanner right out of market open, stocks just maybe haven't traded 1 million shares yet because the market just opened, right? So the way we're going to fix that is we are going to add another filter to this any of the following group of study. Within this study filter, I'm going to come into the pencil. We're going to hop into the ThinkScript editor. We're going to write a little bit of custom code. Don't worry, this one's really, really easy. Simply take the volume from yesterday. You do that by putting a 1 inside of brackets. That's how you displace your data gathering within ThinkScript code is greater than 123 is greater than 1 million. So basically, either the volume today is greater than 1 million or the volume yesterday was greater than 1 million. Once again, that's just so you can run the scanner at any time of day and be returned the right kind of stocks. Okay, that's all the admin work I'm going to do. Don't show me penny stocks. Don't show me light volume stuff. Let's get to building the filter that's only going to show us stocks up at least 20% on the day. So back up within our initial all of the following condition group, we are going to add a second filter, and once again of the study filter type. Once again, come into the pencil and the ThinkScript editor. This is where we're going to have to write a slightly more complicated code. Don't worry, it's still very simple. The percent change equation is not a very complex one. It is simply new value minus original value, all divided by the original value, and then of course multiplied by 100 just to make it a percent. So in our case, we want to see the current price being our new value and the closing price of yesterday's bar being the original value. So in ThinkorSwim, close also represents the current price. If the ticker is open, close will represent whatever it is currently trading at. So that, simply enough, will be our new value. And very simply, I've already taught you how to displace data using brackets in ThinkScript. Our original value is the close of yesterday, the close of the previous candle. That's it. So we go ahead and wrap this equation in parentheses just to make this our entire numerator. Remember, we're going to divide this by, once again, that original value being the close of yesterday. Let's wrap this entire equation in parentheses so that it all gets multiplied by 100. Great. We now have built the equation for the percent difference. Now we need to give it a comparative value. Of course, we want to only see stocks in which this difference is greater than 20%. So we'll just do the greater than sign, 20, hit OK. Guess what? That's it. That is our entire scanner. The scanner itself is very simple, but the scanner itself is only the first step. The custom column is the real power in this scanner and in most ThinkorSwim scanners in general. Because you'll see here, if I sort my mark percent change column descending by the smallest value up top, there are actually two stocks that are under 20% gain on the day. And you'd be saying, Trey, why is that happening, right? MODV being the first example I see. Let's go ahead and load that up. And that is because this stock is currently on a drawdown. If I could zoom up and see what percent, it's currently on a 3% drawdown. That means about, 7-10 minutes ago, this stock was above 20%. And that is the major issue within ThinkorSwim. It's just a limitation of the platform. It's nothing we can change, but the actual results of the scanner, being the stocks that you get back in your results, don't live update. They are roughly 5-minute delayed, which kind of stinks, but it's why custom columns are so necessary, because the data in the columns is live updating. So when we build this custom column that shows us the difference from local highs, it will in real time update as a stock is pushing towards that highs. Once again, if I open up the current scanner and we are sorted top down by that column, I can look ABVC, currently only 1.72% off highs, currently the stock that is the strongest and also up over 20% on the day. Once again, data is live updating. So as something begins to rip, it will jump up to the top of your scan results. Before we get into building the custom column, I need to quickly let you know that if you are interested in this sort of custom ThinkorSwim coding, the scanner and custom column from today's video are both available alongside over 150 other codes over on my website, daytradingstrategies.net. The website will be linked in the description down below this video. And right now, you can even access a handful of free codes. And just to quickly show you how easy it is to get the codes from the site into your ThinkorSwim, every single code on the website comes with one of those TOS share links. All you do is copy that link back within your ThinkorSwim application, set up in the top right, open shared item, paste the link, preview, and import. I just imported a study called DTS Price Action Momentum Buy, so I would simply open that the same way I open any study, and you can now see, if we come out to the daily chart, there's an arrow being provided to you by that custom study. Wow, this stock is very strong on the daily chart. Anyway, that is how easy it is. It takes about 3 clicks and 5 seconds, and you can have all 150 codes from the website into your own ThinkorSwim, saved locally and forever. Alrighty, let's get to building the powerful custom column. To create a custom scan column within ThinkorSwim, you're going to navigate down to your headers where the titles are in your scan results, and there is a small cog icon to the far right. Click into that, then click into customize. This is where you can change the columns that appear in your current set, and it is where custom columns appear. You're going to type in custom. You'll see something like custom 1 through 19. Double click to add any of these, it doesn't matter which one, to your working set. That will allow you to see this scroll icon, which once you click into will bring up the custom quote formula, modal. We can hop into the ThinkScript editor and we can get to work. But actually, before we work on any code, the first thing we need to change here is the time aggregation, because we want to run this data across an intraday time frame. Now, this is sort of subjective. Honestly, whatever time frame you like to trade against is what I would go with here. I personally like to look at the 5-minute, so I'm going to click on that. And if you would like to include data from pre-market and after hours. So if you want to include like a pre-market high or an after hours high in your comparison here, or if you want to see this data updating in pre-market and after hours, you would check this box. I'm going to do that. I like to include that data. Once again, though, that's going to sort of be up to you. Once again here, all we need to do is once again build the percent gain equation. We've already talked about that. We've already done it once. And once again, our new value will be exactly the same. It will be the current price. It will be close. Our original value will, of course, be different. So new minus original. And here, the way I do it, I go with the highest, and highest is a function within ThinkorSwim that accepts two parameters. The first being of data, so I'm going to go with high. The second, and you separate your parameters with a comma, being of length. I like to look at the highest high value out of the last 100 5-minute candles. That is what I consider my local high. There are a few different ways you could go about this that maybe make more sense when reading it in English. Like there is a high of day function that you can simply plug in here. But when you do that, you miss out on all the pre-market and after hours moves. And not to mention, like right out of market open, I want to know the difference from like a pre-market or even a yesterday's high if there is one more locally. So this is the way that I like to do it. So this is our numerator. Going to go ahead once again and wrap this in parentheses to make it the numerator. Let's divide the entire thing once again by that original value being the highest high out of the last 100 bars. Wrap this entire thing in parentheses and multiply it all by 100. Of course, this time we don't need a value comparator. We just want to simply see the value. Gonna go ahead and hit apply and OK, and I will hit OK. And you should now see, if we did this correctly, the custom column beginning to load in over here. And if I click on it twice, we will now see that these stocks, as these last couple of ones load in here, are sorted top down ascending by the stocks that are trading the nearest to their local highs. So now we have a scanner that is only showing us stocks that are above $1, trading heavy volume, up 20% on the day, and we can see which of those stocks are the strongest right now. And remember, this data will update in real time. So if something else on this list, like say this fifth stock down right now, ADTX, starts to spike, in real time, it will jump up to the top of our scan results. That is just an amazingly strong scanner to keep an eye on. This is the scanner I watch all day. When I'm watching stocks, when I'm keeping an eye on stocks, when I'm posting alerts, be it on Twitter or in my Discord, I am posting them from this scanner. Right now, the top stock is ABVC. Oh, that's the stock we were looking at with the insane daily chart. If we come into the intraday 5-minute time frame, you will see stock is currently trading just about at high of day. Very strong momentum. Your next step to make it very simple to keep an eye on this scanner all day is to save the scanner. Do that in the middle hamburger icon up here in the top right. Save our scan query. Mine is already called DTS Gappers. Name yours, whatever you wish. Then from your charts tab, you can open up this left hand pane here by clicking on the slide out arrow, and you are going to add a watch list gadget or use one that already exists. I will use a new one just so you can see how this works. This adds a watch list, and you have your name here of which watch list you are looking at. I'm going to left click on this, then from my personal drop downs, I'm going to find my DTS Gappers scanner. It is right there. Yay, yippee. Then, just like we did in the custom columns of the scan tab, I'm going to click on this cog icon here next to the column headers. I'm going to come in, and you can sort of change, like I get rid of these and I get rid of like all this stuff, and what I add is mark percent change, and I add volume. I like to kind of keep an eye on these numbers as well while I'm trading. But of course, the very important one is the custom column that you created. So also make sure, of course, you add that one. And just like you did on the scan tab, click on it twice so that you are sorting ascending top down. So you can see which stocks are currently trading nearest their local highs. Now, another very important step, I'm going to actually go ahead and slide this out a little bit so I can see it. There is this link icon that appears on these watch list. There's also a link icon here to the right of where you type in the ticker that you would like to chart. If you set this link icon on your watch list and this link icon on your chart to the same link color, now all you need to do is click on a stock from your watch list and it'll automatically populate onto the chart. So I can see here a new stock is now at the top of my list. Since ABVC has started to dip, you can see this thing is starting to pull back now. It has dropped now down to the second position, and now the top stock is SANA, and this is a stock that is currently very strong. And now beginner traders in hindsight are going to look at this and be like, well, Trey, why would I chase this stock, right? Like, why would I want to see stocks that have already made their move, right? Isn't that just super chasing? Well, when I alerted Workhorse this morning over on Twitter, I alerted it when it was trading at $2.30 at 9:55 in the morning. That is on this candle right here. And I alerted it on this candle because it was pushing and trading right up towards high of day. It was at the top of this scanner. And guess what? From there, of course, as we talked about in the intro, the stock made a 40% move in less than an hour. Another stock that was up at the top of this list when we started talking, ZVSA. It has now fallen down the list as it's drawing back, but this thing would have been on your scanner. I mean, here, right? It is pushing high of day here. Like you would have seen this stock when it looked like this would have been right at the top of this scanner. And guess what? Since then, since that candle, the stock made a 68% gain since that move. So yes, is buying at high of day sometimes chasing? Of course it is. Sure it is. But the point is that you are also often being put on at the very beginning stages of a larger move. Your goal here, and I get asked this question a lot. I was just asked it on Twitter this morning and I responded kindly, but people ask me all the time, Trey, how do I know which ones are going to go and which ones aren't? You don't. I don't. I have no idea which stock on this scanner, like even when one appears at the top of the scanner, which one is going to go and which one isn't. I don't know, but the point is that you are locating bullish volatility, and then it is your job to then apply proper risk management to that volatility according to what aligns with your own trading goals and trade the risk reward from there. A lot of them aren't going to work out, but if you're applying proper risk reward, it can still be profitable. So once again, the main thesis of this scanner and what it accomplishes is it finds you these stocks with the highest bullish volatility in the market at any given moment. Does it mean they're going to continue flying? Does it mean they're going to follow through and show continued strength? No, absolutely not. But they are the kind of names that you should be looking to apply your risk management statistics against. Remember to check out daytradingstrategies.net, linked in the description down below this video. If you are interested in these sort of custom ThinkorSwim codes, you get access to all 150 codes for only $45. And it's risk-free. As you saw on the homepage, I have a 30-day money-back guarantee. If somehow you sign up and you hate the code, somehow you hate every single one of the 150 codes, just shoot me an email. There's my support link is right here. There's a contact us tab here. Just shoot me an email, say, hey Trey, I would like my money back. I have never once refused a refund. So you really can try it out risk-free. And of course, I have an annual plan where you're going to get access to all the codes I add to this website for 12 months. That's going to save you some money and more importantly, going to get you lifetime access to the Discord, which has just recently crossed 75 members, which is pretty awesome. Thank you all that are in the Discord. But basically, it's just a group of like-minded people using codes like this, talking about trading, talking about coding, and actually something I've started to do recently in this Discord channel is I've started to screen share the scanner that I am looking at, actually the one we just built in today's video. So you can always sort of have in real time an idea of what I am looking at throughout the day. So if that's interesting to you, it's available under the annual plan over on the website. Anyway, like, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll catch you all in the next video.